Merry Christmas. Hello, Patrick. Thank you for that opening. Good morning, beautiful Linda. I know we didn't want to start without that. That's our usual, but we thought Silent Night might. Oh, that's very coincidental, right? Silent Night. Good morning, Ruth. Merry Christmas. Okay. There's Everett. Let's just do one more for fun. Well, Merry Christmas, everyone. Or as I put in my morning blog today, or whatever you call this new day of birth, right? And you know, usually it's just one of us up here welcoming you, but my wife looks so beautiful that I think she needs to stand up as well. Reverend Rita. Look at everybody. Now, 9 a.m., man. 9 a.m. Just think what happens at midnight. No, don't.
Spirit knows no time or space.
That's right. So anyway, we just want to welcome you on this wonderful day, and thank you for coming out. We had a labyrinth walk last night, and some of you were, yes, it was. And we had 40-something of you here, and it was just beautiful. And I told Rita, I wonder how many will be waking up this morning to come and get us. We woke up this morning. Are we going there again? Is that where we're going? But we're here, and it's beautiful and welcome. So to start our wonderful day here, we have a few announcements by the wonderful Michelle LeMay, who we always love, and Merry Christmas, Michelle, who's on our board and
is looking sparkly this morning also.
And matching with her husband, but I'm just saying.
You won't see that twice. Good morning, everyone. Oh, well, today we are, of course, celebrating the birth of the Christ consciousness and all the December birthdays. So stay after. For those of you who had birthdays in December or will be having a birthday in December, raise your hand because we want to make sure we celebrate you, Deb and Carla. Anyone else? Oh, Jackie. All right, perfect. If you're not raising your hand, we're still going to celebrate you. So after service, we will sing happy birthday, and we'll also have cake to celebrate everybody who had a birthday in December. So stay tuned for that. We are still having a big sale in our bookstore, not too late to buy gifts for yourself. Reverend Diane will be there today. And then we also have our product of today is our Science of Mind cards. If you haven't checked these out, there is an open pack. And they're all different quotes and little sayings, and usually it's exactly what you need to hear at the time you need to hear it. So there is one that's open if you want to check out, or also just pull one and see what your message is today. But we have plenty of these in the bookstore. And then we also have our information table, which we have a volunteer sign-up sheet for those of you who want to become more involved and share your gifts and help grow the center. And we also, on that table, have a list of all the activities that are happening in January. Because as you know, we have a full life here at the center, and if you want to be booking your calendar ahead of time, Rita has already created that for January, so we have a lot of things going on. And then this week, on Wednesday, Anna Myers up in Princeville will have her spiritual circle, which what they do is take an article out of the Science of Mind magazine and share and talk about that, and that's up in Princeville at her home on Wednesday at 3. So one more thing before the end of the new year, and then we're going to have another Action from the Heart Spiritual Peaceful Solutions Cafe. We did this about a month ago now. A couple weeks right after the election. And what this is a gathering of us coming together and circling up to really come up with solutions on how we can change our inner life that will then impact the outside life. So it's really putting into practice what we can do for ourselves that then certainly in turn go out and serve the world and how we can serve others. So that's going to be on Monday, January 2nd from 6:30 to 8. So please come and join us for that. And then we'll have Flying Solo once again in February and all sorts of good stuff happening. So keep in tune, keep in touch. If you want to become part of the email, there is a sign up for that, and also Facebook. There's all sorts of ways to keep in the know what's happening here along with coming to service. So thank you and enjoy your service, everyone.
Yes, we were just talking again last night. We were just talking about the fact that this is a full service station that we have here at CSL Kauai. And what that is about is there are some people that just, it's amazing. They go, I don't want to come on Sunday, I don't want to come this, but I want to go. I love your spiritual cinema. So that's for them. This is for us. Everybody has their own thing, and it's so nice to have a place that we call home, that everyone can share what it is that they resonate towards. And that was our intention, and our intention is being fulfilled more and more every year. So this is our time to just kind of chill, quiet, and we're going to invite Reverend Diane up, who's going to take us into our meditation, our time of just self-care at this service station.
Good morning. Mele kalikimaka. You're beautiful today. Just take a breath. Let us let go of the busyness of this morning and just settle into our true selves. And know that this thought will carry you through our time of meditation together. The Christ mind is alive within me. The Christ mind is alive within me. Enjoy your time. The Christ mind is alive within me. From this place of quiet knowing, I remember the truth that God is right where I am. In and through everything I see and cannot see is the power, the presence, and the love of that one life, living each and every one of us. As I remember this truth for all of us, I know that power of the presence of the Christ mind is living us and thinking us and breathing us every moment of every day. It is guiding us and leading us to our greater yet to be. And so in this moment, I embrace it more fully than ever before and allow it free reign in my life. I allow it free reign in my life. Knowing this is the truth about me, knowing this is the truth about each one of you, I know that this is what is brought forth in this service today, a greater knowing of who we really are. And the encouragement and motivation and inspiration to be that person everywhere we go. And so with a heart filled with gratitude, overflowing, I simply allow the one law, the one mind, to take my word and bring it into perfect manifestation in the lives of each person here in amazing ways. And so knowing that it is already done in the mind of God, I simply let it be. And together we say, and so it is. Mahalo.
Reverend Diane.
Thank you, Reverend Diane. That was beautiful. And Jivan over here, we didn't introduce you, but our beautiful Jivan's back today. Yay.
Yeah.
So it's time to light our peace candle.
We're going to
Let's
take a moment
Take a moment to let
everybody come in.
these wonderful beings in.
I'm just laughing because we have this beautiful sign that says, all is welcome, our doors are always open.
And then we
they
lock
came
them.
and we lock them for the meditation. Life's
Okay.
little contradictions, right?
Everybody looks
Merry
so beautiful
Christmas
today.
again.
Thank
Lots of hats today. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Come on, welcome.
So we are going to sing our beautiful Karen Drucker chant as we light the peace candle and remember that peace begins right where we are. Can we say it enough? Peace begins right where I am and goes out from there. And this is the year for us to truly know that and truly live it. Send my love over the mountains. Send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens Makikimaka again, for those that just walked in, and welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Kaua'i. And since it's Christmas Day, and everybody's been mentioning the Christ consciousness, I just want to just say for a moment that what we believe about today in Science of Mind and Spirit is the birth of the Christ consciousness. That little baby that was born in that manger was the birth of that Christ consciousness, to remind us that that same Christ consciousness is our very own minds, in our very own minds, and the true reality of who we are. So that's what we celebrate today, that birth of the Christ consciousness within us, with all respect and love for Jesus, the Christ, which we are all the Christ. So he was our great way shower, and we live to follow that example. So, just in a little nutshell, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. And who is here, and I know there's some of you, for the very first time? Raise your hands. There you go. We have a little something for you, don't we? Raise your hands again.
Yes?
It's a check for $10,000. Oh my God, look at all the newbies. Look at the newbies. Oh, how they turn. Oh, how they turn. You know, it's amazing. That money could just wake everybody up at 9:25 in the morning. So anyway, we also, right there where Rob is standing, we have a camera. And just so you're just wondering what it's doing there if you're here for the first time, we have what we call live streaming. So that means that people off the island are watching us, seeing what we're doing.
Perhaps those that decided to stay in their bed this morning.
That's right, and I think
us.
Michael
Like
and
I know
Carrie
some in
are
this
one of
audience too.
them. So I know they're watching. So yeah, there we go. So about the people that are here, we know something about you, and I would like to share it with everyone, if you don't mind, to Marie and so on. Yeah, and that is, can we let them know what we know? What I told you guys before they got here. Okay. You are magnificent. And they look relieved. Right. Yes, you are magnificent, and we know that about you because we know that about ourselves. And that's the key to everything. It starts in here and goes out there. We see nothing out there that hasn't already happened right here within ourselves. And that can be the good news, and that can be the not so good news at times. But we know the good news is that we're always at choice. Knowing that you are that, can we all say that together? I am magnificent. And we should also, yes, I know, Maureen, isn't it a great feeling to know that? Yeah. So let's look up at that camera and let all those people that are all comfortable in whatever they're wearing in the morning, let them know that we love them and say, you are magnificent. Aloha. Now say to your neighbor, whoever's next to you, just let them know who they are, and you're magnificent. You are magnificent. Ava's magnificent.
Thank you.
You are magnificent. You.
Section over here. You are magnificent. Thank you. I love your Christmas card. It was so beautiful.
All righty. You're magnificent. All righty then. Wow. You are magnificent can seem to go on. You are magnificent. And you wonder why they call us the happy people.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Well,
yes,
is there
we
any
are.
other way to be?
Yeah, what's the alternative?
What's the
Hello.
alternative, guys? We don't
There
like
we
the
go.
alternative. No.
There
All
we
right.
go.
So I think we're ready to open up. We're going to do our.
Yeah.
Right? No. Yes. Yes. Okay. Are there no children in the audience right now? Are they?
Do you know
There
we
is
have a lot
chil-
of, we have our youth
program.
in there, so just send really good spirits, and there's about 6 or more in there, right, Timmery? Your children just got
And
involved.
George is watching them
5.
today.
That's
Ooh,
great.
Good. Yay. George is going
Okay.
to have a good time.
And Janice is out here with us. Give it up for our leader over here. Yes. So there you go.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we're ready. You ready?
Uh-oh. This is another high energy moment here at CSL Kauai. You ready?
I
Okay.
invite you to stand up and shake your groove thing.
Uh-oh.
As you welcome,
Uh-oh.
we sing a welcome.
This could get very dangerous on Christmas morning.
We're welcoming the Christ Spirit to dance in our hearts.
This is the dance interlude.
Put your hands together. Clap, clap. Yeah, that's it. Welcome.
Yeah. Well, I'm warmed up. Are you guys ready? Yeah. Yeah. So we have we've been doing this all month, and for the Christmas time, and we've been doing different cultures and the way that they express their Christmases and their holiday and whatever they choose to call it. So Reverend Diane's been doing that all month, and today, where are we? Will be the last one for the month, but I know it'll be just absolutely wonderful. Beautiful Reverend Diane.
Guess what we're talking about today? Christmas! The Christmas story in particular. You know, there's only 2 places in the Bible that they talk about the Christmas story, and that's Luke and Matthew. And the stories are different in both places, which is unusual. What that tells me is that it's a teaching story. It's a parable that allows us to bring something more deeply into ourselves, rather than, in my mind, a historical event. If it was a historical event, it would match throughout the Bible. That's my understanding. Might not be your understanding, but that's mine. And what I want to talk about today are the improbable pregnancies of Mary and Ezra. Both of these women, Mary was a virgin. Ezra was an elder who had been barren all her life and a disgrace to her family. Her husband Zechariah had been praying in the temple and praying in the temple. And Joseph, well, he had paid a good dowry for this beautiful Mary that he had decided to marry, and then he finds out she's with child. So this story is really about the two women, and it's also about their partners. Because what happens when something new and amazing and wonderful wants to be born within us? Completely different from what we've ever done before and ever known before. Mary has this new life that is going to change lives, growing within her. Ezra, who everyone thought was done for her life, is now with child and bringing forth something beautiful into her life and world. And so that this whole thing works together for me as young people, elder people, knowing that we can always have the new and the bright and the wonderful being born within us. And about their partners. The Spirit visits the women and tells them that something new is coming forth through them, as improbable as it seems. An angel comes to each of the men and says, support your partners. There's something amazing about to happen, and we need you to support that too. And so these couples do what is born within them. They do what the Spirit within them leads them to do. And they go through all the motions, as difficult as it may be. And they bring forth something amazing. The Christ consciousness within each one of them, born in such an amazing way. And they couldn't have done it alone. They couldn't have done it without Joseph and Zechariah. They couldn't have done it without the visitation of Spirit, their intuitive knowing that right where they are, the presence of God is and is coming forth through them in a new and miraculous way. And so I invite you this holiday season to look at what is being born within you. What new knowing, what peaceful way of being, what unusual, improbable, and amazing thing wants to come through you. And allow it to be born this day. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Reverend Diane. All right, Jeev. Jeevan. Isn't it always funny when you get to know somebody, you know, they're Jeev, and then after you, hey, Jeev. Yeah. Yeah. Then it gets to just be an initial, right? So once again, I think we've said it before, but if you haven't been here before, this is Jeevan, and Jeevan was with us for a whole year when we first started out, and he's like such family. So it's so beautiful to have. The prodigal son has returned.
Thanks for having me back.
I mean, brother.
Wow, so Christmas, Merry Christmas. Birth of the Christ within us. So I was trying to figure out what song to play, and I found it. So it's not really a Christmas song, but it is. Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, and praise for the spring, fresh from the world. Sweet the rain's new fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, sprung in completeness with his feet past. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light, rhythms of play. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day. Sing with me. Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for the spring, fresh from the word.
What are you talking about? It's a perfect Christmas song. You can turn anything into a New Thought song, and you can turn anything into a Christmas song. That was absolutely beautiful, Jeevan. Thank you. Mahalo. So I want to just start by telling you, I have to tell you this story. And you might have heard it already if you've been here for a long time, but maybe not. I don't know if I ever told you. I have a little Christmas story, a lot of Christmas stories. I grew up in an Italian home. And I also had, the other side of my family was Jewish. And so, but I was mostly brought up Italian. But I had an aunt, and her name was Aunt Lucille, and she was like pretty amazing, and she was my savior, if I had a savior in those days. Her and my Jewish grandma, Kurtz. So one Christmas Eve, and this is the true story, I got into a little fight with my dad. He was very, regimented in his ways, and a beautiful man, a beautiful doctor. But he really, when he said something, it was correct, and we all had to fall into place. So we were having an argument about a girlfriend of mine whose sister was getting married. And my father asked me what his profession was, because he was very, you should marry in your class, right? And she said she was, and I said, oh, he's a carpenter. And my father went on forever and ever, it was Christmas Eve, about that she shouldn't marry below her, and I started fighting with him, and it was like a big screaming match. Suddenly my aunt, who was a heavy smoker and liked her drinks too, just took a puff of her cigarette and said, for God's sakes, Rocco, Jesus was a carpenter. Well, yeah, she had that way about her. She had that way about her. Yeah, so that's just one of the many stories of Aunt Lucille. There's lots more to come. And unfortunately, that evening didn't end well, but as my grandma, my aunt, went out into the snow of the New York hills and celebrated Christmas or Hanukkah somewhere else. Yeah, no, it was, I don't remember. Anyway, I just remember that moment. So, I think there's something in that story, though, in that, isn't it great when you can just tell the truth? And when somebody's not really telling the truth, that you can tell the truth and stay in your truth. And I think that is so important right now, to stay in our truth. And there's lots of things that can get in the way of that truth, but we don't have to listen to them. We don't have to listen to people telling us this or that or that. We can just stay in our truth and stay on principle. And I just want to read you a little reading, because it's so beautiful, from The Science of Mind that Ernest Holmes wrote about Christmas. And he said, asleep in the heart of cosmic love, unborn, universal, potential, the Christ child lay, and the great mother soul, brooding over her unborn child, conceived it in the stillness of her universal nature, imparting to it her own being. Born into time and experience, unnoticed, unseen, yet alive and aware, the Christ child incarnated in human form, taking the likeness of men and women, yet giving no sign of its presence, waiting with utmost patience and love, the revelation that should disclose itself and proclaim the reign of peace. This little quote is from a poem, and I grew up with a Jesus that was my Savior because I grew up Catholic. But when I came to this teaching, I came to realize that Jesus was an amazing being, the Christ, in that he embodied that in its totality from what we know of the stories that we're told. But that we also have that potential within us, that truth within us, and that he is our great way shower. And it's just like waiting in there for us to just recognize it and live it. And it's so glorious. And I love Christmas because it reminds me of that. And if you think about everything, lots of things that were said in the Bible, I and the Father are one, the kingdom of heaven is within you, these things you can do and greater, those were all his messages. He was our way shower. And so what I get out of that is he was always pointing his finger, but it was within, pointing it within. And making him my Savior, in that sense, I'm pointing it without. I'm going without. When all the time he was telling me to go within. So what stands in the way of that truth? Just all the outside stuff that gets in our way. And last night, I had a night last night of all those outside things getting in the way. And what I always do is treat, or I get out of bed and I start meditating, and it always helps. Because there's something that we live in called race consciousness, and sometimes it can get, and especially if we were brought up with a lot of stuff. And, you know, here you are, and I didn't start in this teaching until I was well into my, almost into my 50s. So I had all those years of all those things outside people were telling me might not have been the truth until I found what was my truth, which was Christ within, the love within, the God within. So I'm going to read you this because it was a lot of fun to write it, and I think it says what I'm trying to say here. So I'll just listen to you, and you can just listen. Close your eyes if you want. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through my mind plenty of thoughts were stirring, all having a grand time. Lack hung by poverty with care, in hopes that a lottery winning would soon be there. Fear was nestled with me in my bed, while visions of war and doom danced in my head, and peace in her majesty and love in her lap seemed to have all disappeared for a long winter's nap. Then suddenly from within there arose such a clatter I had to get up before I would shatter. Away to my meditation pillow I flew with a dash. I looked into my mind as I threw back the sash. I knew that from within there was something to know, giving a luster of light to all thoughts below. So what to my meditating mind should appear but a hint of goodness in my soul's mirror. And with new thoughts, so lively, so freeing, so quick, I knew in a moment they were mine to pick. More rapid than eagles in waves they came, and whistled and shouted and called them by name. I whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now beauty, now joy, now wisdom and prosperity, in peace, in power, in knowing, in clarity, out of my mind, out of my soul, now dash away negativity once and for all. As dry leaves before the wild hurricanes fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the heavens my new thoughts they flew, pushing out the old with a God-filled boo. In a wink of my eye and a twist of my head, I knew that I knew I had nothing to dread. I spoke not a word, but went straight to my work and cleared out all else that was still there to lurk. And breathing out with my mouth and in with my nose, I replaced them with more God thoughts as up my heart rose. And when I was done, I jumped back in my bed, all cozy and warm and spiritually fed. And I heard me exclaim as I fell back to sleep, Merry Christmas to knowing the good my new thoughts shall reap. Wasn't that fun? I had to read it to you. So I call it a New Thought Christmas. Yeah, okay. I'll put a copy of it on the e-blast tomorrow, and I'll bring it next day. So Merry Christmas, everyone, and Merry New Thoughts. It's time for new thoughts, right? And to recognizing that love and that Christ is there right within us. We don't have to look for it to the outside. It's right there, ready to tell the truth, like Aunt Lucille. So whatever that looks like. So I want to close with singing a song with Jeevan. The wonderful, amazing man who I married. And I want to tell you something about that. About, I don't know, maybe 30 or 35 years ago. Can you hear me? No, not at all. I can't let you go. So it's her. Anyway, when I met him, well, I didn't meet him, about 30 years ago, I said, all I want is a spiritual partner. I want a spiritual partner, and I was married at the time, but I wasn't going to get a divorce because it wasn't there for me. I kept seeing all these people that had spiritual partners, and I thought, I want that. But then what I did is I started to work on myself. Yeah, and then 30 years later, there he was. But in the meantime,
sing, darling, sing.
In the meantime, I know. All right. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is a night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary soul rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born, oh, night
we did it.
And here he is, Patrick FEren, Santa Claus. Do you know he was the best Santa Claus in the whole world when he worked as Santa Claus?
I was a Macy's Santa Claus,
was.
and that's the only real one in New York City, by the way.
Picture those beautiful blue eyes.
Why do I feel like a puppet all of a sudden? That's so unlike. So Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm taking this a whole nother way, as usual. Oh my gosh. I was going to ask Michelle if I could use a story about her and get permission, but since I didn't, I'm just going to take up. But I'll tell it anyway. It's better always to say you're sorry. So Merry Christmas, everyone. I found this. I wanted to talk a little bit today about this whole month, about everything that's been going on here at the center and just in the community and what the holiday season has really meant to me this year. Because there's been a lot going on, and there's been a lot going on in the center. There's been a lot of community. And it brought me back to this idea of the human touch, the human spirit, which we're always spirit, but the idea that we're community and that we're reaching out, and somehow we've gotten a little locked into some of our technology, I feel. I know I have. So you're wondering, what does this have to do with Michelle? Well, I have this quote I found that says, "Let us not forget in this time of emails, voicemails, cell phones, text messages, blogging, and instant messaging, that the human touch has the power and potential to change someone's life." And I really thought of that, and what happened, I think it was this week, is that Michelle lost her phone. All the details are not really necessary. She didn't actually lose it, it just kind of stopped working. Water has a tendency to do that to instruments. And I followed her little journey because she was wondering whether or not she even wanted to get the phone back, because she was learning something about herself, that she needed to spend some more time with herself. And all of that instant messaging and all that checking in and cluing in to make sure that people are coming. We can all relate, that's why I'm using Michelle, sorry. But it really struck a chord in me. And I thought to myself, when we went caroling last Monday, something really, really transpired in me and transformed me, because I realized that a lot of people are locked away sometimes in the darkness of their homes and the darkness of themselves. And when we went to these places and we saw little kids' noses pressed up against the window because they were too afraid to come out at 22 people standing in front of your house singing, it could appear creepy, but it wasn't. It was beautiful. And we had our candles, and this is our 4th year of doing it. And there was just something special about this one. And this woman came out of her home, and she was feeling so sick. And she had been praying to God. And we're here never to take away someone's God. Her God was very far out there. And we're not here to take anyone's God away. We're here to incorporate God and bring God current. And she'd been praying for somewhat of a sign, like, am I going to get better, or am I going to get... And the next thing she hears, it's like a Hallmark movie, folks. You got carolers outside singing Silent Night and all that. And she came out and she was crying. And Rita did a prayer with her, and Timmery was there, and went up and hugged her. And you could tell that a new light of hope had went on, that you could not get on TV and you couldn't get on your internet. And I am so for the internet. I'm for live streaming. Aloha, Merry Christmas. But even the people that watch us, they want to be here. They want to be here with this thing called community, this thing called the touch. And we talk a lot about virtual churches in our future. And yeah, they're great. when you can't really be there. But nothing is ever going to take away what we're having right now. Ever. It can never, ever end. Because we came in spirit, as spirit, into this flesh so that we could live in flesh as spirit. And so, more on that night, we went, and as we were traveling through, it was just a great time. Pictures on Facebook, on my page, if you would like to look at them. Everything's documented, just FYI. And we went to another house, and they were from Minnesota. And I thought to myself, we haven't even spoken to anybody in our neighborhood, right? And all these houses are dark. And we were always laughing because we did them in different places. And other people, you know, they go, here come the carolers, lights off, you know. You know, because it's frightening. Sometimes being happy is frightening to people. It is scary. Because that happiness, that positivity is a chance and a light of hope for people, that I don't have to live in a living hell. So this man said to me as we were walking off, and he said, he goes, it's so nice to be here in the warmth, and he said, I just want you to know that you're all instruments of God. And I thought, yeah, that's what this whole season has been about for me. Is being able to have that human touch. Rita and I, sometimes we like to write our thank you notes to people, and you probably have received them, and they're by hand. We've lost some stuff. I mean, when people are walking up to carolers are walking up, and you're in shock that they even exist, because time has went on, and we have become advanced. I don't know if it's advanced. And here's the other thing. I don't want to go back. I don't want internet to leave. I don't want live streaming to, God knows I don't want Facebook to go away. Because if you ever want to know what's happening in this center, go to Facebook. I'm there. Because I believe in that kind of connection. That's all we're asking for, this connection. Henry Ford said, coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together and living together is success. That's what we're talking about here. Nothing is so healing than the human touch. And that's what we're really about here. That's what this center is about. I used to make a joke before we came here. I said, we have a positive teaching, a powerful teaching, and I want the world to know it. And what's so funny is I said, but I don't want a moose lodge. I don't want just people gathering just to get food and having, you know, whatever. But that is, I used to say that because I remember, don't look down on me, my mother was a moose. My family belonged to the Moose Lodge. I was a teen moose, but I've digressed. I did not want a Moose Lodge in the sense that we just came together for that. I wanted us to come together, fill up in the gas station with positivity, with laughter, with love, and take it out into the streets. A gentleman was here not too long ago, and he said, I saw tears running out down someone's face. And it was just absolutely amazing to him. And he said, I wonder how many other people are out there with tears in their eyes that could really use to be in here. Do we have all the answers? Yes. No. Do we have all the answers? Absolutely not. But what makes it different for me during this holiday season is that we're willing to open up to the answers. We're willing to be open at the top, to have the human spirit once again live through this. I am so excited. The children are growing here as we enter our new year. And that's what it's about too. Our youth, and that's our inner child too, must be reminded that we are spirit and that we have the power of love to take out in the world. That little Itukai over there, that little man, to be able to just be in the atmosphere of what we have here this is what will ignite him. And he will become that Christ child that will bring it out and grow up into Christ consciousness. This is a special day. Let's not forget our human touch. Let's not forget the spirit that we are. And I'd like to sing a song for you. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You know, sometimes, I mean, just think to yourself. No, just think to yourself what it's like to live with me 24/7. I live within this 24/7.
The most wonderful thing in the whole world.
And, but I will wrap this up with one thing about the beautiful Miss Reverend Rita, since she's kind of, you know, the starlight today. Here's the deal. I woke up this morning, and when I was little, remember when we wanted all those presents under the tree, and you'd count them? You know, it's like, oh, I've got 13. And it can actually not be such a great thing if you run out to your neighbors, and then they're going, you know, it causes a lot of stuff. But regardless, I woke up this morning, and I realized when we woke up at 5 a.m., I repeat, 5 a.m., and I said, for 17 years ago, I unwrapped the best Christmas gift that I could ever have, and that's Rita. And I am so blessed every year that this grows more and more. And when we got married, our biggest vow is that we would never stay the same, and that we would always change. And that's not usually the vows I know that my parents took. What are you doing, Katie? Changing? But I looked at this woman laying in bed, and I said, there's my Christmas gift, once again, unwrapped. And I'll leave. This is nothing like the church I was raised in, just so you'll know. Merry Christmas, I love you. I'll leave you with that visual.
All right, I think we need to change the subject now. Everybody, come on back. I love it. It's so great. Oh, life is really good, everyone. Oh, that'll be my new poem. Okay.
Wait till you see New Year's.
All right. Oh, my God. Thank you, everyone, so much. This has been a special day. We wondered what would happen having, this is the first service we've ever had on a Christmas day.
And our last.
No. Another 7 years from now, we'll have another one, or whatever next Sunday comes. All right. So I think it's time for our sacred giving. And thank you so much. This has been a very wonderful year for Center for Spiritual Living Kauai. It's been abundant. Thanks to all of you, all of us, giving our sacred giving to move this ministry forward and to just grow. We're growing, guys. We are growing. And thank you for what you give to that growth, consciousness and financial and time and talent and all of it. It's all wonderful. So let's read our abundance affirmation. Today I meet my abundance. My abundance is forever expressing itself to me and through me. I can now see, hear, and feel it in and around me. It fills me with a great surge of life. I share my abundance today, knowing there is always more and more. I share it, and it is returned to me, multiplied infinitely. Take it away, Jeevan.
Blessed my spirit, I am infinite within my soul. I have no beginning and I have no end. All this I am. Blessed my spirit, I am infinite within my soul. I have no beginning and I have no end.
Oh, so we take this time to just know that this sacred giving is so blessed, and it comes right from our consciousness. And what I know about this is that it goes out and it does its work, and that is to multiply abundantly the consciousness that is in this basket, in our soul, in our hearts. So knowing that, we just say yes to it, yes to this, and more and more and more, as together we say. And so it is.
So, thank you, mahalo. And I think our children are here with George.
Hey,
Yeah,
come on
let's
in.
welcome Woo!
Woohoo!
Wow, look at, we are growing. Come on up, guys. Wow, I am
Well,
impressed.
you guys been busy.
Come on.
Come on in. You don't have to.
Well,
no,
if you don't
it's
want
cool.
to, you don't have to, but I guess.
There we go. Uh-oh, come on.
Okay, these
Just
are your
stand right
shy,
here.
darling children, and what we did today is we did a little star, and it said, "Let your light shine." That's right. Great kids.
So let's just do a blessing for all the children in the world, knowing that they are all safe and taken care of and loved, and this beautiful consciousness here goes out and spreads and uplifts the planet everywhere. Yes. Let your light shine, and so it is.
Nice.
Thank you. Woo!
All
This
right.
is like amazing. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. All right. So I
So
think we're ready for.
We are, but one little thing I just want to say, a little teaser. If I were you, I would come next Sunday. That's New Year's Day, because we have a very, very big surprise for you. And we're not going to tell you till you come. Yes, we're going to unwrap another present. All
All
right.
right.
All right. And
So
let's go.
we are going to sing the traditional song of the religious science churches around the world, and that we never sing here. It's "Let There Be Peace on Earth." But if you look, you'll see that there is different words, just a little slight difference. And I'm looking for them in my program here. So, yes,
Power.
God is love is our power. Ohana are all are we. And there's one other one, my joyous vow, not solemn. And I think that's about it. Is that right? Am I right? Yeah. So, if you want to sing the other words, that's fine. Nobody's going to hear. It's
So
fine.
shall we all
sing
stand for
whatever
this
you
one?
want, whatever works for you, because it is done unto us as we believe.
Micromanaging. Shall we all?
Let's see. And if you want to take hands, go ahead. I think it's good. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth.
How peace that was meant to be. With love as a power, let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step we take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin.
I'm going to give some thank yous here. I'm thanking Carla Janae for bringing the birthday treats today, and Luis, yes, and Michelle for doing the announcement, for Marion and Glenn, our beautiful greeters, thank you so much. For Reverend Diane, all she did today with the meditation, the invocation, the beautiful Christmas message. To Rob and Jonathan for live streaming and sound, thank you, mahalo nui loa. To Roseanne for printing the programs for us. Yes, and to Ron Stover, who just endlessly serves us food. For Diane in the bookstore, and for the beautiful George who took the children today. Yay! To all the children for coming today. Yay! To Janice for leading the youth program. Aloha. And to Jeevan for the music today. And to the beautiful Reverend Patrick for his wonderful, beautiful self. Just thank you. Oh, and me too. And me too, yes. And Louise, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. So let's just finish the song out, okay?
To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Oh, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with
Merry Christmas. Happy holiday.
Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad,
Merry Christmas.
Feliz Navidad.
Yeah, sure.
Merry Christmas.